Go.
Hi everyone, I'm Coach Gudelman. I am going to teach you archery today. It is a outdoor education. It could also be physical education. I apologize. So I want to go over what the bow is. This is a bow right here, kind of what I was pointing at. It is a instrument or a tool to use to shoot a object, which the object would be an arrow. Now the arrow is a object that can be shot to in the air to a target, which I have right down there. Which we're gonna go into it a little bit. Also, a little bit more information where I just put the arrow is called a quarry. Now, in a quarry, you can have it like this on your bow, or you can have like a backpack or called a satchel, and or to your side. It can be on your back or your side, to where you have a bunch of arrows. That's called a quarry of arrows. Now, a little bit of history on the bow and arrow. The bow and arrow started around about in Africa around the about 20 to 25,000 years ago is their estimate. It's not a guarantee because you can still find stuff and change history in ways when you go explore. But a lot of times this instrument was used to hunt prey, and then also, unfortunately, it was used for wartime. Uh, During the war, you would have archers who would line up near each other, and they would all draw their bow, which draw means you put an arrow in and you pull back. That's drawing. They would draw their bow and shoot it up in the air, and hopefully, down the distance, there would be enemies coming at them, and hopefully the arrow would strike the enemy and then unfortunately kill them. But most of the time, bow and arrows were used to hunt prey, even hunt predators, for example, a bear or a mountain lion. But usually they would hunt like, buffalo, which the natives would hunt, deer, which the Europeans would usually try to get. But they would use this tool, this instrument, to provide food for their family or for themselves, even sometimes as a sport. To nowadays, it's kind of like that. Um, Interesting that the bow and arrow started becoming elite by around the late mid 1700s to early 1800, because during that time the cannons, cannonballs, guns were starting to become created. So during wartime, not using a bow and using a gun was a little bit more effective because the gun can shoot farther than a bow can, and it might be more lethal. Arrow, you might get shot and you might survive it, depending if it's not a fatal shot. But unfortunately, with a gun bullet, back in that time, medicine wasn't very advanced like it is to now. If you got shot by a gun or bullet, your chance of survival is very slim. So that was something that happened. Over time, the bow became obsolete. Now the bow and arrow has become more of a sport, or in the Asian culture around in Japan, Mongolian, and the China areas, they actually prefer this to be a art. And the reason why is they believe that that the bow is a sense of your spirit, because when it comes to the bow and arrow, it takes time, it takes patience to hit your target, to relax and just be with the bow. So they took it as more of an art aspect. And an interesting fact about the bow and arrow, the Mongolian, and this is how how Asian countries were very good about making it into art. The Mongolian horsemen were very well known to be bowmen archers on their horse. Now, when you kind of think about it, it is very hard to ride a horse, draw arrow, and shoot at your target and actually hit it. They were really good at a full trot. Now, if you don't know what a trot means, it means a horse that's kind of going full speed. So, now I'm going to demonstrate how to shoot an arrow. Pull back on a bow. So your fingers want to go to right in between here, these two rings. You know, or it could be up here. You can do three fingers if you want. I prefer to do two. Now this is also a junior level compound bow. This is a compound bow. A regular bow would be a longer bow with just one spring, but with a compound bow, it makes it more pounds to. So when you release, it does it. As you can hear, that was a lot of power. But so fingers go right here. You want to draw back. You aim at your target. Sometimes I like to go to my nose. Some people like to go to their chin. You want to have a light elbow. Elbow wants to be bent a little bit. If you're straight, the bow will come back and hit you in the wrist. And that's why a lot of times you'll see archers who have a plate on their bow holding hand to protect from the line coming back. But so you pull back, little bend, you point at your target, you release, and that's how you draw. Now when it comes to a arrow, so with this is a sight that would be in the way. So whenever it comes, usually arrow will have two different colors. Sometimes it depends if you have a sight or not. If you don't have a sight, you usually want to point the black, the opposite one color by itself, outwards. But since I have a scope in the way, you need to put the black, because once it releases, it doesn't make a mess. Or see, if I do it like this, it's going to hit the feathers and it's going to change the trajectory. So if I put it on the bottom, and then also these are like little teeth marks right here, and if you put it right in there, it'll kind of be snugged a little bit. So then you put it like that and hold it, and then you're going to pull back, and whenever you're ready, release. Now the interesting thing about also when it comes to release, the next step is release. When you pull back, a lot of people want to kind of just follow the bow, thinking that like if they follow the bow, they will guide it. It might go where they want it. That is incorrect. That actually makes it worse, to where you might push it and it might go a different direction. Also, I just felt it, wind could be a factor too. You also have to be known to your elements. If you see my dog, that's Woodrow. Say hi, Woodrow. So you always have to think about all your elements. You know, it's a nice sunny day, thank goodness. You know, last few days it's been raining. But all right, back to the release. Once you're ready, you want to take a deep breath. This is where the body of where the spirit of, like what I was talking about, of the Asian culture, of how they take this as art, like it has, you know, the spirit of your body. So usually you want to take your time, pull back, take a breath, calm down, relax, and when you're ready, you release. Now whenever you release, you want to release pull back a little bit and then release with a T formation back in. Don't push it. You can also just release if you want, but don't push forward. Just release or pull back and release. So let me see if I can get this target. Earlier I couldn't get it to save my life. Nope. Yep. Did it again. All right. Uh-oh. Well, that would be it. I got on there, but not at the target. So whenever you have kids around, you always instruct them. When you go retrieve arrows, you say, put your bow down. Have the kids put the bow down. Go over, no weapon in hand. Pull out the arrow. Go find the other one. Found both of them, woohoo. And once you come back, then have them put the arrows back in the quarry. So I put it back in the quarry. Boom, boom. And then after that's done, go another round with the students. So one more shot, and then we'll go on to some game situations you can do. Ooh, skimmed it. But like again, put the bow down, have the kids, you or the kids go get it. Sometimes you might lose the bow and the arrow. Alright, just for sake of time, coming back, I'll find that arrow later. But always look for the sake of time. Alright, so now that put the arrow back in quarry. Alright. So now that we are, so as a teacher, having your kids split them up in groups. You can have multiple stations, split them in groups. As a teacher, try to stay back behind them. Don't be in front because then you might get shot by arrow. Do monitor them, go around behind them again. Correct any form changes, make sure they're shooting correctly. Releasing, main thing, draw to the chin I like to, and then pull back and release. Don't have them push it, then they're just taking away force. Slight bend in the bow head where the bow is. Other than that, keep a good outline. So this is kind of like a outdoor education. You could also use physical education in this because we want to promote physical education. So how you want to do this, you can have a couple games, a few games actually. You can start off with just regular, have them shoot. Singly they get 3 to 5 shots. The bullseye, you want to have a bullseye where it's red in the middle, white on the outside, and black on the outer side. The one I have is not a great example, but it's something. But you want to have it's kind of the same concept a little bit. So you want just a bigger target for them, because you don't want to have a small target like mine, because then you miss like I did. But if you have a bigger target, it's more better for them, gives them more confidence when they hit that target. But you can make it where a little mini games you can have where the outer side is 1 point, inner middle is 2 points, and the bullseye is 3. And once you kind of get through that, do it a couple rounds, let them get confident in shooting. Then you can make it another mini game to where sorry, my dog's making funny things. You can make it where where this is where physical education can come in, to where the bullseye is no exercise, and then you can make the outer white area more of a exercise where they can do 5 push-ups, sit-ups, or burpees, or jumping jacks. Then the black area would be 10 whatever you want to give them, which in the game we'll explain a little bit more. And then if they completely miss the target, it's 15. Now you can make it to where it is 3 shots, so they have 3 shots. First arrow could be push-ups, and have them be honest with themselves. If they make it good, for example, let's say the first shot they hit the black, so that's like, oh, you have to do 10 push-ups. Second shot would be sit-ups, wherever that is. Let's say they hit a bullseye, they get 0. Let's say the third shot they miss, so that's 15. Let's say jumping jacks, so they must complete 10 push-ups and it's 5. Sorry, 5 push-ups and 15 jumping jacks. So that can be their activity to promote physical education, healthy lifestyle. And then here is the fun game I think everybody will have fun with, is that you can have a game where you have them in teams. Again, teachers need to be a bit further back from the group, because by then let's just hope that kids are being responsible, to where a teammate shoots the arrow, and how we talked about the bows go down. One teammate only gets 1 shot. They must put down the arrow, but they also must hit the target. They must hit the target to come to you to do activity, and they must get 10 arrows on the target to win. But they must do an activity before they can do this. This is like a relay race. So after they hit the target and they got it, they put the bow down, they come running to you. You have a piece of paper of what the activity is. It can be, 10 push-ups, and they must perform 10 push-ups in front of you. Once they are done, they can run back to their group, and once they get back to their group, they must tag the other person in. Once they're tagged, that one person who has been tagged can pick up the bow, pick up the arrow, shoot again, hit the target hopefully, put the bow down, go back, run out to you again, now, and do the same thing. And it's just recycle the whole time. They must get 10 arrows in the target. Now, once they complete 10 arrows, they must sit down, and you say, all right, we have a winner. Or if you don't want to have that winner, you can let them just stay there and just nod saying, I see you. Then you can continue with the other group until everybody's done, or unless it's too bad to where the other group can't catch up. But also, the other thing, one quick rule, is whenever, say, someone misses and doesn't hit the target, they must put their bow down and let the next person go up and take a shot. So, other than that, today I've taught you about archery a little bit. I hope I've helped you learn a little bit more about archery. Other than that, you guys have a great day and good luck.